I'm going to talk about how to leave the old you behind, because a lot of times I see people getting hung up on dwelling on the past and like, oh well, I I I'm me. How can I avoid the past me that I was? The future me is so far away. How can I reach them? And I look at it this way. The you that is here now in this moment is a different version of you than what was here a second ago or a half a second ago or even a millisecond ago. You are constantly moving through space-time. What is keeping you from realizing that everything is changing and evolving? That also means you. Now, the past experiences that you've had have built you up to be the person who you are now, all those reference experiences, all the factors that compounded, but when are you going to start to realize that you can leave that you behind and become a completely different version of you? Now, social conditioning will make you think that you are you. You have an image. You have an identity. If someone were to speak of you, they would have these facts to mention. If you were to tell someone about yourself, you would have these facts to mention. But no one knows everything about you. So no one can really pass judgment on you and tell someone else about you. You probably don't even know yourself fully, to the fullest fullness of every atom that is in your body and the space in between the atoms. Very different scale that I mentioned there. But think of that. The smallest measurable unit of matter in your body is doing whatever it wants without you having any say. Do you control how your body grows and changes? No. So, recognizing that your body is changing and growing, try to realize that your mind can change and grow, and you can unhinge yourself from this image, this identity that you have resonated with so long, and you can leave that old version of you behind and move forward as a completely different version of you. And say you have a phone and you do a factory reset, you wipe everything clean of it. Still the same phone, but now it's completely new to build upon. Think of yourself the same way. I am me. I'm going to do a factory reset. Alright, now that I've done the factory reset, I've come back and I'm a completely different version of me. I can now have other apps, programs, things loaded onto me. I can have all sorts of different, I don't know, data saved, photos, videos. Like there's now a blank slate, and I feel like a lot of times people don't realize that they can do a blank slate factory reset of themselves and change the way that they perceive the world. But it starts internally with you really building up a foundation where you think that that's capable, where your core confidence is grounded in that you are enough, that you're not going to let external things now dictate how you live your life. You're going to question and use the scientific method to go about your life now, where you're testing things. You're not just taking them and falling into reaction. You're like, oh, a data point. What will I do with this data point? All right, I'm gonna not dwell on the data point. I'm gonna collect it, and then you won't start letting things stick and attach to you and just be part of your identity. Instead, you'll curate. You'll have boundaries. You'll have standards that you've raised, that you don't tolerate certain things, you tolerate other things. But all in all, you'll be starting from a place where you're not holding yourself back from being the greatest version of you that there could possibly be. Now, leaving that old version of you behind is imperative in you being able to really achieve any higher levels of success, any higher levels of growth, because you're stifled currently. If you wanted something and you haven't achieved it yet, there's something holding you back. Logistics may be in play, but then again, with things like, I don't know, social circle, you can sometimes get around logistics. There's always ways to still move forward. But what's keeping you from projecting your success on external things instead of realizing, oh, it's on me? That old me was holding myself back by thinking I needed external things in order to be enough. But now I know, I've grown my core confidence, I am enough. Now, how do I leave this old version of me behind? They keep coming up in my head. How do I get rid of that me, let it fly out the other ear? You know, it comes from you recognizing that your thoughts are skewing your perspective of your life. The you that you've resonated with and identified as for so long are an image built up in your head. If you were to meet someone new who you've never talked to before, they know nothing about you, would they know who you are? No, you'd have to tell them. You'd have to show them. But by default, you're just material. Oh, wow. Wow, I'm just material. Well, how does this material gain its identity, its name? What gives this form something deeper? And then that person would learn about you or learn about you from you telling them things or see you do things. But all in all, that person wouldn't know any different about you. So what's the difference of you looking at yourself and being like, whoa, me, I woke up today and yesterday's me is long gone. Technically the me from a couple seconds ago is long gone. How do I function? Oh no, everything I've valued and held near and dear to my heart is in question. Was it all a lie? Is life meaningless? May start to question, but questioning is good. Why was it that you were living your life based off of the past version of you instead of being like, how do I evolve today? How do I ascend to the next paradigm today? How am I going to today leave that old me of yesterday behind and set up the me of tomorrow for even more success by not stifling myself based off of an ego-based identity or an ego-based belief that was part of my core identity? You know, you shouldn't resonate with anything external that clashes with the core confidence that you should be investing in. You should be, I am enough. I am entitled. I deserve the best. I will never settle for less. I am a queen. I am a goddess. I am a baddie. I should only view myself in the highest height of prestige. Never doubt, never question myself. Because who is there to judge me? Well, where are you eradicating the judgment of past and really setting yourself up to never resonate with judgment again? Where are these blind spots? Are you checking for blind spots? Are you really evolving to the next paradigm? Or are you still caring about other people, what they say, what they think? You know, can you measure these thoughts? No. Can you measure a tangible unit of thoughts? Can you measure a tangible unit of judgment? Even if it's projected at you. Judgment, thoughts, Sound waves have exited their mouth and have flown at you. You can measure that, but it's just a sound wave. As soon as the sound wave is received by you, then it's up to your brain. Are you going to loop and get triggered by these thoughts that are coming from your interpretation of the sound wave? And you're like, interpret, they said it. Well, why are you interpreting what they said with any value? Why are you then choosing to add baggage that you're then going to carry around with you into the future version of yourself? Instead, why aren't you realizing, oh, I don't resonate with this. I've built up my core confidence and self-worth and entitlement to already have a firewall set up where I'm like, whoa, firewall. And if you want to add, non-reaction, that's another great thing. And then you're like, oh, my firewall is even stronger. Whoa, firewall. And if you want to add the fact that you do what you want as another thing, that's even stronger firewall on all sides. But consistently, you have to be checking these blind spots and really being like, hey, the me of yesterday, you're holding me back in this area. I need to move forward. And a lot of times I don't think people feel the entitlement to leave that version of them behind because they're so deeply literally resonating with this version of them that's held on to all of this baggage for so long, and they don't want to question whether or not they've been wrong about the way they've been perceiving the world. And they may know that they're wrong, but have they really changed the way that they live, that they view the world? to accept that they've been wrong and then change themselves at a fundamental level where they can leave that version of them behind and never resonate with it again. And the thing that catches me a lot of times is, if you know it's possible, then why don't you embody that? Where is the gap? What am I missing? This is me. I want to change these things about myself. I know it's possible because other people have done it. I've been told that it's been done. I've seen that, it's capable of being done. I know it exists in other people, so I know that it has to be attainable in some way. And then the you who's like, yes, I've left that version of me behind, and I'm reconditioning myself to now be this version of me, unstifled, knowing what I desire, being entitled to it, and going for it, taking action, not dwelling in thought. And I am now this version of me. I'm not getting triggered by that old version of me because I don't want to be that me anymore. I'm reconditioning myself to be the new me. But why is it that people choose to stay in this limbo phase of, well, some days I feel like I'm not enough. Other days I feel like I'm enough. But for some reason I can't leave that old version of me behind because it's me. It's who I've been. It's who I resonate with. Who would I be if not that version of me? Am I wrong about myself? I'm torn between these two identities. Some days I feel like I'm on top of the world, but then a thought triggers and pulls me back, and now I'm stuck on this side, feeling like I'm not enough. That limbo phase. What's going on? If you know that it's possible, and you know that it's completely in this present moment, as real as you are, that you can't put your hand through your hand. Oh, I did it. I found the glitch in the matrix. Oh, I can now do both. But as real and tangible as you are experiencing yourself now, if you can fathom that you've been wrong, that you can actually be the version of you that you want to be, the most ideal version of you that you want to be, why are you choosing to hold yourself back from putting in the work that it takes to be that version of you? And really realizing, I am moving through space-time. I am changing and evolving. I am now conscious and aware. I'm getting present to the moment. I'm not getting caught in my thoughts. And I see what I want. And I'm going for it. And this version of me is fading away every moment. It may try to trigger me and pull me back, but no, I am enough. I've built my entitlement. I'm now continuing to move forward. Where are you getting hung up? What's holding you back? You know it's possible. You've started to take actions. You've probably seen a little bit of a result. So you know it's there. You've seen other people. Irrefutable evidence. Field tested. Proven. They've done it too. So what's keeping you from resonating with that version of you over this past version of you that you keep allowing you to pull yourself back into the past? You can't let those thoughts control you. Can you measure what's pulling you back into these old ways of stagnation? Maybe you could take a data point, catch your blind spots, be like, oh, well, where am I dwelling? Oh, well, I'm dwelling here, I'm dwelling there. I'm getting caught up in thought, I'm getting triggered by past experiences. I'm not investing in myself, I'm not being the best version of me moving forward, evolving and changing. Instead, I'm choosing to stagnate. I'm choosing to dwell in the you that I think I am now, as opposed to being the you that I really want to be in the future. And it really takes you caring enough about yourself to destroy that old version of you and leave it behind. And it's up to you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm just saying, if you know it's possible, why haven't you? Let's do the example of me leaving the screen and being like, okay, well, this me right here that you've been experiencing this whole video is here now. But at the same time, if for some reason I don't like this version of me, I can be like, all right, well, I don't want to resonate with this again, ever again. If I get triggered, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to fall into reaction. I'm going to catch the blind spot. I'm going to recondition myself to not resonate with that, to not fall into reaction. And I'm going to just dismiss it, notate it, so I have that as a data point, not to get caught lacking by it again, and move forward. Now I'm unstifled, all right? What keeps coming up? Well, the me that's here now is not the same me that was here earlier. So I'm going to really just realize that I'm a different version of me. Why is this version of me harboring all this negativity from the past version of me? I can't let this happen. I cannot let this happen. I'm going to do better. I want more for myself. And I'm going to get it. I'm going to leave that me behind, all right? I'm leaving it behind. Oh yeah, now the new me is here. Whoa, that old me was there, but it's not anymore. So I feel better because I left it behind. There's no baggage. Any thoughts that come, I just realize it's a thought. An immeasurable, intangible, just thought. Just as soon as it's here, it's gone. And then I'm on to the next thought. And as soon as it's here, it's gone. And what else is there now for me to use aside from creating new reference experiences, stacking new wins, and really building the foundation of, okay, now that I've fully acknowledged that I've dove in deep and I've removed the stagnation of limiting myself and dwelling, settling for a life of less where I would have died with regrets. Instead of that, I can now move forward unstifled, getting the fullness out of my life's experience, which is all that you should ever want. You should want the best for yourself. You should feel entitled to the best, and you should never settle for less. Now, we've talked about leaving the old you behind. Let's talk about establishing the you that's here now so that you're unshakable. Your core confidence is so deeply rooted and grounded that there's nothing but up from here. And say the number one thing that I love is accepting that you are wrong about a lot of things. In order to not fall back into the traps that you've been falling into for so long, realize that you can now move forward with the OP superpower goggles of knowing that you've been wrong about things and you've fallen into traps of thought, of social conditioning, of stagnation. And now you can move forward. Wow, I view life unstifled. I can get the fullness out of my life's experience. Wow, I've now been relieved of my chains, of my burden, of the weight that I was carrying. I've been wrong, and now I know that I will probably be wrong about things in the future. My perception will be skewed by filters of negativity and will cause me to fall into reaction. But now, when I do fall into reaction, when I start to resonate with these false identities that aren't part of the me that I want to be, I can stop them from gaining roots and fortifying themselves. Instead, I can move forward unstifled. That's a great tool, amazing superpower, except that you're wrong consistently. Utilize the scientific method in order to test what you're experiencing, to see whether there's bias, whether there's misinterpretation, whether there's trauma being triggered, pain body being triggered. And then move forward unstifled, not hindered by these things, filtering it as it comes. Talking about filtering, second tier of how to really move forward and be the best you is build standards, build boundaries. Don't tolerate things that you would have tolerated before. Really commit to yourself. Oh, I only want the best. I deserve nothing but the best, and that is what I am entitled to. This is what I shall receive. And really, whether you need to put reminders on your phone, whether you need to find accountability partners, whether you need to write it on a sticky note and put it on your mirror, whatever form works for you. Just remind yourself, boundaries, standards, boundaries, standards. Just like you are on your path You're a queen, building your empire, building your dynasty. You're a goddess on the track for world domination. You'll never settle for less. You're a baddie. You're entitled to all of the life's greatest experience. But unless you're consistently building upon this belief in yourself, investing into that core confidence, you won't be getting those standards, getting those boundaries built and fortified. It's really up to you. Do you want to settle for less? If you do, then hey, goodbye. Nothing in this video of value for you. But you really have to dive deep into your self-worth and consistently invest in those standards. Build them up. World domination levels out here. We're not settling for less. Build up in those boundaries. We're building empires and dynasties out here. You should never settle for less. So, continue to live now that version of you, having left the old version of you behind. I am entitled to the best. I should never settle for less. Build those standards so that when something does come your way, it is met with nothing but a firewall to keep it from getting any further to you. Oh, well, firewall. Oh, try to come from this side? Firewall. This side? Firewall. My boundaries and standards, my self-worth is fortified. Nothing can shake me. And another way is core confidence. Should be the first thing. It's your core confidence. Do you really know that you are enough? Have you been living your life thinking that you're not enough? Is that old version of you still there? Trickling, poison dripping in, thoughts of negativity, judgment, skewing the perception that you have of the world? Or are you free? Are you unstifled? Are you really investing in your core confidence that you are enough? That old version of you that questioned, oh, well, I need this, I need that, approval, validation, accolades. No, that you is gone. The you that's here now knows that you are enough. Will you tolerate a you that is questioning their worth? No. Invest in that core confidence. Really realize that you are enough. That anything that in the past you were living based off of is pointless. It's nothing that could ever be needed to... There is nothing that could ever be needed to sustain and cultivate and grow a better version of you, because the you that's here now is a completely different version of you than the you that was here before. So, any doubt, any judgment should be gone. And because you're aware that that version of you is holding you back, now really invest and never go back to a time when you would ever view yourself as not enough. And those are three foundational pillars. If you want to go into another one, I'd say blind spots. Check your blind spots. Audit. Use the scientific method, like I said earlier, and check what is stifling it. If you have a fresh set of eyes, you're now realizing you've left the old you behind. What is keeping you from hitting that next level? And then the next level? Where are the blind spots? What are you still harboring that is holding you back and stifling you from really being that greatest version of you right now? Because if you remember, the you that's here now is consistently evolving and changing. There's endless external stimulus, endless internal stimulus that's giving you things to compensate, calibrate for. And obviously it's compounding. You are a result of all your past experiences, but at the same time, if you're able to detach yourself from that past identity and check blind spots, you're able to look at yourself almost in the third person. You have you, and you have a clone of you. What would the clone of you tell you about yourself? Yo, you got blind spots here, here, and here. You're lacking there, there, and there. Or would that clone of you also be blind to the blind spots? And you're like, well, duh, you're tripping on the same stuff. You know, it doesn't take a clone of you to evaluate you. You can do that yourself. You can check your blind spots. You can really see, well, if I were to be wrong, going back to that example, where would I be wrong? If in the vastness of everything that exists in the universe, I could have been wrong about a couple things, Where am I wrong? Where have I resonated with the identity? Where's my ego building a foothold and roots in something that is not part of me? I've done it before. I've left an old version of me behind. How can I do that again and refresh and make sure that I don't have these blind spots? I can eradicate them in real time. And the fact that you can even realize that out of all the vastness of the cosmos, that something as small as a thought, the social conditioning, is holding you back, and you can take the action to change your relationship with that, to not be triggered with it, to unroot the trauma, to really find the root cause of what's holding you back, is a superpower that people don't take into account. They just let themselves dwell in the world of, oh, this is me being me. Ah, poor me, at the whim of my environment, the whim of my thoughts, what's driving me. No. You have the power to change it. You are in control. Catch those blind spots. Don't harbor them. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but a crucial, fundamental part of being able to, move forward, make lasting change is to, get in touch and build a better relationship with the present moment. I mentioned it earlier here and there, but the main focus is that, why are you trying to escape into stories you're telling yourself about the past, stories you're telling yourself about the future, dwelling in thoughts of those places when the only time you can experience things is right now. The fullness of all your life's experience is only available to you right now, moment to moment. You can't go back in time and do anything. You can't go forward in time and do anything. So when it comes to leaving that old version of you behind, as I've said throughout this video, it's more so about realizing that resonating with the past, dwelling on the past, or even resonating and dwelling with the future does you no good, because it doesn't exist. And if you come to a place where you are feeling a sense of ease and lightness about the way you're going about things, being able to not be in resistance, to be able to flow in abundance, then making change comes far easier. And a lot of times just getting present to the moment is an amazing way to do that. Shutting off all of the external stimulus that's putting you into reaction, that internal stimulus that's putting you into reaction, and really giving you a grounded place where you can then move forward, not in reaction, but choosing what you do with more ease, with less resistance. And you can really dive deeper and get a fuller experience out of your life by doing this. And, Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, great resource for getting more information on presence. But all in all, it's more so you showing yourself the self-love of being you now, and not falling to the trap of all these labels, these things you've resonated with that have built up this ego-based identity that you're so invested in that you're not able to escape resonating with. Instead, take the time, show yourself that self-love, dive a little bit deeper, and give yourself all that you desire, all that you deserve, by being present and enjoying it as it comes, as opposed to trying to dwell and wait for a future time when things will change, resonating on a past time when things were different. When, say, you get to that future place, well, are you going to even be able to enjoy everything you were waiting for and anticipating? Or are you just going to be waiting for the next thing, and then waiting for the next thing, comparing what you have now to things of the past or things of the future? And it really helps to get out of that stagnation and really get into the present moment, where you can dive deep, get the fullness out of your life's experience, unstifled, and really, really be that you that you want to be, instead of getting hung up on things that aren't in the present, that are in the past or in the future. So all in all, this is, I feel, given great context to what is it that you're going against within yourself. Why is there even something that you're going against if you're able to realize that you can leave it behind? Where's the resistance? Let it go. It's giving you the tools of what action needs to be taken to really move forward, really take strides to be unstifled, to make sure you don't die with regrets and get the fullness out of your life's experience. You know? Check those blind spots. Fortify those boundaries and standards. Build your core confidence you are enough. Take action. Don't dwell and don't wait anymore. Really, really give yourself the self-love of knowing that you are enough. Your core confidence in yourself should be that you are entitled to anything that you could desire. The old version of you that's been stifling you and holding you back, you can leave that behind. You have the superpower of being self-aware. You can take action. You can get out of your head and really move forward to be the best version of you, leaving that old version of you behind. And just take a second to realize how amazing it is that you are conscious, aware, alive. It's phenomenal. So, if you have something that's holding you back, and you know that it's holding you back, or even if you're unaware of what's holding you back, you know that there's something you want to change, that awareness in itself is amazing. Don't let it just sit there on the shelf, collecting dust, choosing to settle for a life of less where you will die with regrets. Instead, take that action to realize that, oh wow, I want to be this version of me. I know that it exists. But the only me that can experience things is the me that's here now. So what am I going to do? Well, get present to the moment. Remove those stifling filters, those limiting beliefs. Come back to that grounded core confidence. Evaluate what it is. Leave it behind. Power is in your hands. It's completely attainable by you right now in this moment. But you have to want it for yourself. You have to get present to the moment and be you, unstifled, getting the fullness out of your life's experience, and consistently making that the version of you that you resonate with and exist experiencing. Not dwelling on the past, not dwelling on the future, but being present to the greatest version of you. All of the glory that you could ever want to possibly experience is only going to be able to be experienced by you now. So leave that old you behind and dive into the richness of your life's experience that you can have right now. You got this. I got faith in you.